In this video, we'll go through exam questions that cover the criteria estimate the mean of a group frequency distribution from discrete data. You can locate the questions on the mathsmaths.com website under level 2. The questions come from different exam boards. We'll start with the non-calculated questions and then we'll move to the calculated questions. Here is the first one. Here is some information about the number of houses sold by 20 salespeople. Work out an estimate for the mean number of houses sold. Normally, when we work out the mean, we add all the numbers and divide by how many there are. However, we don't know what the numbers are in this case. We've got number of houses sold, 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, or 16 to 20. So, the number of houses sold could be anything between 1 and 5 here. So it could be 1, could be 2, could be 3, 4, or 5. As we don't know the exact number, we're working out an estimate of the mean. So we pick a midpoint, and that is 3 in this case. For 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, that is 8. For this group here, 11 to 15, that is 13. 16 to 20, that is 18. So these are the midpoints, and I'm going to put them here in this column. The frequency column tells us how many of each of these there are. So it says 7 3s, 6 8s, 5 13s, 2 18s. So rather than listing 7 3s and adding them together, we can just multiply. 7 lots of 3, that gives us 21. 6 lots of 8 gives us 48. 5 lots of 13, what does that give us? 5 times 3 is 15, so 5 down, 1 carried over. 5 times 1 is 5, and the 1 is 6, so that is 65. 2 lots of 18, what is that? 2 lots of 8, that is 16, so 6 down and 1 carried over. 1 times 2 is 2, and the 1 is 3, so that is 36. Now we've got to add all of these. So we've got 1 and 8, which is 9, 9 and 5, which is 14, 14 and 6, that is 20. So 0 down, 2 carried over. 4 and 6, that is 10, and 3 13, and 2 15, and the 2 we carried over, that is 17. So that total of all the numbers is 170. We need to divide by how many there are now. And what tells us that? That's the frequency. So we've got 6 and 5, which is 11. 11 and the 7, that is 18. And the 2, that is 20. So we'll work out what is 170 divided by 20. So how many 20s fit into 170? We know that 5 times 20 gives us 100. Well, we've got 170 here. 6 times 20, that is 120. 7 times 20 is 140, 8 times 20 is 160, but this is a bit higher, it's 170. So what we're going to do is put the 8 first, and we have 10 left over, because 170 take away 160 gives us 10. Now we can add a 0 here, and for the decimal point in the answer. How many 20s in 100? That was 5. Exactly 5. So 8.5 is the answer. That's the estimated mean. Emma is the recruitment manager in a large company. She has this information about the number of workers in each of the 20 offices of the company. Emma estimates the mean number of workers in an office as 30. Is Emma correct? Show why you think this. So we have a column for the number of workers and number of offices. So this is like the frequency, and these will be the groups. So 1 to 20, how do we find the midpoint of that? We could put the numbers from 1 to 20 and cross out both sides to find the midpoint, but that would be a bit long. So what we can do is add 1 and 20 and divide by 2 to find the midpoint. 1 and 20, that is 21, divided by 2, that gives us 10.5. Half of 20 is 10 and half of 1 is 0.5, so 10.5. So we'll put 10.5 here. What is the midpoint between 21 and 40? Again, we'll add 21 and 40 and divide by 2. So 21 and 40, that is 61, divided by 2. Half of 60, that is 30, and half of 1, that is 0.5, so 30.5 altogether. Adding 41 and 60 and dividing by 2. That is 101 divided by 2. Half of 100, that is 50, and half of 1 is 0.5, so 50.5. Midpoint between 61 and 80, so adding 61 and 80 and then dividing the answer by 2. So 60 added to 80, that gives us 140, and the 1, so that is 141 divided by 2. Half of 140 is 70, half of 1 is 0.5, so 70.5. Working out the total, 5 and 5 is 10, and another 10, that makes 20. So 0 down and 2 carried over. We've got just 2 here in this column, and now 3 and 7, that is 10, and 5, 15, and another one, that is 16. So 162.0, which is the same as 162. And we're going to divide that by how many there are. 9 and 1 is 10, 8 and 2 is 10. So that is 20 in total. So 162 divided by 20. We know that 8 times 20 is 160. And we have 2 remaining because 162 take away 160 gives us 2. I'll put the decimal point in because we run out of digits, and I can add 0 here now. So how many 20s into 20? That's exactly 1. So 8.1 is the answer. Asha swims 1 kilometer each time she goes to the pool. She always records how long this takes her. The table shows her data for 10 swims. Estimate Asha's mean time to swim 1 kilometer. Again, we need to find the midpoint first. So for the first group, that is between 25 and 26 minutes. So midpoint will be 25 and a half. So 25.5 minutes. The midpoint between 26 and 27 is 26.5. Between 27 and 28 is 27.5. So we have the midpoints. Now we're going to multiply by the frequency. So it's 2 lots of 25.5, or 25.5 plus 25.5. 5 and 5 is 10, so 0 down, 1 carried over. Again, 10 and 1, that is 11. 1 down, 1 carried over. 2 and 2 is 4, and the 1 is 5. So that is 51. 26.5 times 4. 4 times 5 is 20, so 0 down, 2 carried over. 4 times 6, that is 24, and the 2, that is 26, so 6 down, 2 carried over. 2 lots of 4, that is 8, and the 2 is 10. 26.5 has 1 decimal place. 4 doesn't have any, it's a whole number, so we're going to give the answer 1 decimal place. So going backwards, we put the decimal point there, so that gives us 106. Now we've got 4 lots of 27.5. 4 lots of 5, that is 20, so 0 down, 2 carried over. 4 lots of 7, that is 28, and the 2, that is 30, so 0 down, 3 carried over. 2 lots of 4, that is 8, and the 3, that is 11. 27.5 has 1 decimal place. 4 doesn't have any, so the answer will have 1 decimal place. So going backwards gives us 110. Now we'll add all of these to work out the total. 1 and 6, that is 7. 5 and 1 is 6. 1 and 1 is 2. So 267, which we're going to divide by how many there are. So 4 and 4 is 8, and the 2 is 10. So 267 divided by 10, which is 26.7. So moving the decimal point 1 place to the left to make the number 10 times smaller. So the answer is 26.7 minutes. Hannah wants to know how much money she might get for a toy car if she sells it on an online auction website. She finds that the same make of toy car has been sold for different prices. Use the data to calculate the estimated mean price paid for the toy car on the online auction website. So we'll find the midpoints between these groups. So we've got between 0 and £9.99. So 0 add £9.99 divided by 2. So that is £9.99 divided by 2. How many 2's fit into 9? That is 4. And we have 1 remaining. Transferring the decimal point over to the answer. So how many 2's now into 19? That is 9, because 9 times 2 is 18, and we have 1 remaining. How many 2's into 19? Again, that is 9, and we have 1 remaining. Putting a 0 down. How many 2's into 10? That is 5. Okay, so we have 3 digits after the decimal point, and this is money, so we can't have 3 digits. So we're going to round up, and that gives us £5. Because as you can see, this is a 5, so that means the 9 becomes 10, this becomes 10, and ultimately this becomes £5. Now we've got to find the midpoint between 10 and £19.99. So that is £29.99 divided by 2. one lot of 2 fits into 2. How many 2's fit into 9? That is 4, and we have 1 remaining. Transferring decimal point over. How many 2's into 19? That is 9 and 1 remaining. Again, 9 and 1 remaining. Adding a 0. That is exactly 5 lots of 2 that fit into 10. So again, same thing, we're going to round this up to £15. Next one, 20 add 29.99 divided by 2, so that is 49.99 divided by 2. How many 2's into 4? That is exactly 2. 2's into 9, that is 4. We have 1 remaining. Again, that is 9, 9, and then 5 at the end. So we're going to round this to £25. And finally, we have 30 and 39.99 divided by 2. So that is 69.99 divided by 2. How many 2's into 6? That is 3. How many 2's into 9? That is 4. And we have 1 remaining. Again, same process as before. So this is £35. So we have the midpoints. We're going to multiply by how many there are for each. 6 times 5, that gives us 30. 5 lots of 15. 5 times 5 is 25, so 5 down, 2 carried over. 1 times 5 is 5, and the 2, that is 7, so 75. Now 6 lots of 25. 6 times 5 is 30, so 0 down, 3 carried over. 2 lots of 6, that is 12, and the 3, that is 15, so 150. Now 3 lots of 35. 3 times 5 is 15, so 5 down, 1 carried over. 3 times 3 is 9, and the 1 is 10, so 105. Adding all of these together, 5 and 5 is 10, so 0 down, 1 carried over. 3 and 7 is 10, and the 5 is 15, and the 1, 16. 6 down, 1 carried over. 1 and 1 is 2, and the 1 is 3. So 360 divided by 6 and 6 is 12. 12 and 3 is 15. 15 and 5 is 20. So 360 divided by 20. I'm going to write it like this time because you know that fraction means division. So top number divided by the bottom number. If I divide both numbers by the same number, then the fraction stays the same. So 360 divided by 10 is 36. 20 divided by 10 is 2. So 360 divided by 20 is the same as 36 divided by 2. And we know that 36 divided by 2 is 18. So the answer is £18. This table shows the price charged by 90 influencers for a sponsored post in 2020. Tara charges £171.99 per post. She works out an estimate of the mean charge per sponsored post for all the other influencers. Tara thinks she charges less than the estimated mean. Is she correct? So we're going to work out the estimated mean first and then compare it to £171.99. So we've got between 0 and 100, that's the first group. So 0 add 100 divided by 2. That is 100 divided by 2, which is equal to £50. Then we have between 100 and 250. So 100 add 250 divided by 2. So that is 350 divided by 2. Half of 300, that is 150. Half of 50, that is 25. So that is 175. Now 250 add 500 divided by 2. So that is 750 divided by 2. Half of 700 is 350. Half of 50 is 25. So 375. Midpoint between 500 and 1000. So it's 1500 divided by 2. Half of 1000 is 500. Half of 500 is 250. So that gives us 750. So now we have the midpoints, and what we're going to do is multiply them by the frequencies. So 37 times 50. Zero times 7 is 0, 0 times 3 is 0. So we're moving down now, put a 0 down. 5 times 7 is 35, so 5 down, 3 carried over. 3 times 5 is 15, and the 3 is 18. So 1850. £175 times 35. 5 times 5 is 25, so 5 down, 2 carried over. 5 times 7 is 35, and the 2 is 37. So 7 down, 3 carried over. 5 times 1 is 5, and the 3 is 8. So we move into the 3, to the tens. So 0 down. 3 times 5 is 15, so 5 down, and 1 carried over. 3 times 7 is 21, and the 1 is 22. So 2 down, 2 carried over. 3 times 1 is 3, and the 2 is 5. 5 and 0 is 5. 7 and 5 is 12. So 2 down and 1 carried over. 8 and 2 is 10, and the 1 is 11. So 1 down, 1 carried over. 5 and 1 is 6. So 6,125. Now 375 times 16. 6 times 5 is 30, so 0 down, 3 carried over. 6 times 7 is 42, and the 3 is 45, so 5 down and 4 carried over. 6 times 3 is 18, and the 4 is 22. 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 7 is 7, 1 times 3 is 3. Now 750 times 2. we worked out earlier 1500 divided by 2 and it gave us 750. So 750 times 2 gives us 1500. So adding all of these to get the total, okay, 5 and 2 is 7, 8 and 1 is 9, and the 5 is 14, so 4 down, 1 carried over, 1 and 1 is 2, and 6 is 8, and 6 is 14, and 1 is 15. So 15,475 is the total, which we're going to divide by 90. How many 90s fit into 154? That is just one, because 2 lots it would be 180. So 154 take away 90 gives us 4. 15 take away 9, that is 6. So that gives us 64 left over. Now, how many 90s into 647? That should be 7, because 90 times 7 is 630. So 647 take away 630 leaves us with 17. So now, how many 90s into 175? That's going to be 1, because 2 lots of 90 would be 180, and 175 is less than that. So 175 take away 90. So that gives us 85. We've run out of digits, so I'm going to put a decimal point here. How many 90s into 850? So that will be 9, because 9 times 9 is 81. So 9 times 90 will be 810. So 850 take away 810 leaves us with 40. So we can add a 0 now. How many 90s into 400? Which is the same as saying how many 9s into 40. And that would be 4, because 9 times 4 is 36. So 400 take away 360 leaves us with 40 again. So we can see the pattern. This is going to be 4, 4, 4 recurring. So £171 and 94 pence. That is the estimated mean for the other influencers, whereas their charge is £171 and 99 pence, so 5 pence more. And she thinks that she charges less, but in fact she charges more. So we're going to say no. She charges 5p more, 5 pence more. Now we move into the calculator questions. Nikos owns a restaurant. The table shows information about the number of customers that visited the restaurant on each of the 31 nights in August. The mean number of customers per night in July was 32. Nikos thinks the mean number of customers per night in August was more than the mean number of customers per night in July. Is Nikos correct? Show why you think this. So we'll start by estimating the mean number of customers per night in August and then compare it to July. Finding the midpoint between 1 and 15. So we're going to do 1, add 15 divided by 2. So that is 16 divided by 2, which is 8. 16 add 30 divided by 2, so that is 46 divided by 2, 23. Now finding the midpoint between 31 and 45, so 31 add 45 divided by 2, so that is 76 divided by 2, which gives us 38. And the midpoint between 46 and 60, so 46 and 60, that is 106 divided by 2, that gives us 53. So to work out the total, we're going to multiply these numbers together. So 2 times 8, that gives us 16. 7 times 23 gives us 161. 12 times 38 gives us 456. 10 times 53 gives us 530. So adding all of these together gives us 1163, which we're going to divide by the total. So that is the frequency. 2 add 7 add 12 add 10 gives us 31. So we'll do 1163 divided by 31, which is 37.52. Rounded to 2 decimal places. So it's people that we're talking about, it's customers, so we're going to say 37. And if we compare it to 32 for July, Nikos thinks the mean number of customers per night in August was more than the mean number of customers per night in July. He's correct, because this is 37 for August. So we're going to say yes. Show a check of your mean calculation. So we said this was about 37 customers per night, and frequency was 31. So if I multiply 37 by 31, does it give me something close to 1163? And it does. That's just one way of checking. Dan wants to expand his business. Next year he plans to clean patios from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Monday to Friday for 26 weeks during the spring and summer. This table shows how long each job took Dan this year. The times include travel time. Use the data to estimate how many patches Dan can clean next year if he works the hours planned. Let's estimate the mean time it takes for one job to be completed. So we've got these groups, 30 to 60 minutes. So we're going to do 30, add 60 divided by 2 to find the midpoint. So that is 90 divided by 2, which is 45 minutes. Between 60 and 90, so that is 150 divided by 2, which gives us 75 minutes. Between 90 and 120, so 90 add 120 divided by 2, That is 210 divided by 2, which is 105. And between 120 and 150, we get 270 divided by 2, so that is 135. So 25, that's the number of jobs at 45 minutes roughly. So we'll multiply that by 45, gives us 1,125. Now 36 times 75 is 2,700. 45 times 105 gives us 4,725. 21 times 135 gives us 2,835. We'll work out the total by adding all of these together. This is 11,385. So that is the total, which we're going to divide by the frequency, the total number of frequencies. So 11,385 divided by 127 gives us 89.65, rounded to 2 decimal places. So the average time for one job is 89.65 minutes. So what we're going to do is work out the total time that he's going to spend cleaning, or plans to spend next year cleaning patios, and then divide that by this number that we got. So it's 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. 8:30 to 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. So 7 hours, Monday to Friday. So we'll do 7 times 5, which gives us 35 hours a week. And that is for 26 weeks. So 35 times 26 910 hours a year. So 910 now, if I multiply this by 60, because that's 60 minutes in 1 hour, it's going to give me the total number of minutes that it's going to do next year, which is 54,600. So now I can divide 54,600 by 89.65 minutes. Which is 609 jobs. So he should be able to clean 609 patios. A Department of Transport survey collected data on the percentages of cars traveling at different speeds on a motorway. The table shows the results of this survey. Work out an estimate for the mean speed. So finding the midpoint first between 40 and 50, that is 45, halfway through 40 and 50. You can also add 40 and 50, which is 90, divided by 2 gives us 45. Halfway between 50 and 60 is 55, between 60 and 70 is 65, between 70 and 90 is 80. Now multiplying these midpoints by the respective frequencies. So we'll do 4 times 45, which is 180, 30 times 55, which is 715, 36 times 65, which is 2340, 47 times 80, which is 3760. Adding all of these together, gives us 6,995, which we're going to divide by the total for frequencies. So 4, add 13, add 36, add 47, gives us 100. So 6,995 divided by 100 gives us 69.95 miles per hour. They want an estimate for the mean speed, so I'm just going to say 70 miles per hour. Ellie looks for information on the cost of leaving gadgets on standby when they are not being used. Ellie's gadgets are a TV, computer, printer, phone charger and 2 games consoles. He finds several reports stating how much electricity a gadget uses when left on standby, but they do not agree. Use an estimate of the mean to find how much money Ellie could save if he switched off his gadgets instead of leaving them on standby. So we're going to estimate the mean, and we need to start with the midpoints. So what is the midpoint between 0 and £4.99? So we do 0 at £4.99, which is £4.99, divided by 2 gives us £2.50. The midpoint between 5 and 9.99, so 5 add 9.99 divided by 2 gives us £7.50. Between 10 and 14.99 is £12.50. Between 15 and 19.99, that is £17.50. So multiplying these by the number of reports or the frequency, get 1 times £2.50, that is just £2.50. 4 times £7.50, that is £30. 5 times £12.50, that is £62.50, and 2 times £17.50 is £35. Working out the total, we do £2.50 add 30, add £62.50, add £35 gives us 130. Dividing it by frequency, which in this case is the number of reports. So we have 1 and 4, which is 5, and 5, 10, and the 2 is 12. So 130 divided by 12 gives us 10.83. So he saves £10.83 roughly. Some people donate to CHAD, which is a charity, by giving a one-off donation. The table below shows the one-off donations made last year. Other people donate by paying regular amounts. Last year, CHAD had 150 of these regular donors who donated £7,500 in total. Sam works out an estimate for the mean of the one-off donations last year. He compares this with the mean for regular donors last year. Sam says the mean amount donated last year was higher for the one-off donors than for the regular donors. Is Sam correct? Show how you decide. So the mean for the regular donors we can work out by doing 7,500 divided by 150, which is £50. So £50 on average by the regular donors. Let's estimate the mean amount for one-off donors and then compare. So we're looking for the midpoint between 0 and 20, so that's going to be 10, because 20 divided by 2 is 10. Between 20 and 40, so that is 60 divided by 2, which is 30. Between 40 and 60, 40 and 60 is 100, 100 divided by 2 is 50. Between 60 and 80, so that is 140 divided by 2, which is 70. So 48 times 10 is 480, 146 times 30 is 4,380, 74 times 50 is 3,700, 32 times 70 is 2,240. So working out the total by adding 2,240, 480, 4,380 and 3,700, which is 10,800, which we're going to divide by the total number of donors, which is 300. So 10,800 divided by 300. Which is 36. So the mean amount donated last year was higher for the one-off donors than for the regular donors. That is not correct, because this is for one-off and this is for the regular ones. So we're going to say no. The water company needs to reduce water leakage. This data shows the volumes of water leaked in 2019. Use the data to work out an estimate of the mean amount of water leaked per day. Give your answer to the nearest whole number. Okay, so the midpoint between 0 and 200 is 100. Between 200 and 400 is 300. Between 400 and 600 is 500. Between 600 and 800 is 700. So 87 times 100 gives us 8,700. 105 times 300 gives us 31,500. 153 times 500 gives us 76,500. 20 times 700 gives us 14,000. So adding all of these together, gives us 130,700, which we're going to divide by 365. And gives us 358.08 to 2 decimal places. So to the nearest whole number, this is 358. Millions of liters per day. A photographer increases the price he charges to print photographs. He wants to know if this affects his sales. Last week, before the price increase, the average number of photos ordered was 12. This week, customers ordered 1 to 10, 26 of them, 11 to 20, 14 of them, and so on. Does the price increase seem to have had an effect on the number of prints ordered per customer? Explain your answer. Include calculations to support your decision. So we're going to estimate the number of prints ordered per customer and then compare it to 12. So what is the midpoint between 1 and 10? So 1 add 10 is 11. 11 divided by 2 gives us 5.5. What is the midpoint between 11 and 20? So 11 add 20, that is 31. Divided by 2, it gives us 15.5. 21 and 30, that is 51. Divided by 2, that gives us 25.5. 31 at 40 is 71. Divided by 2 gives us 35.5. 41 at 50 gives us 91. Divided by 2, that is 45.5. 51 at 60 gives us 111, divided by 2 gives us 55.5. So multiplying these, so 26 times 5.5 gives us 143. 14 times 15.5 gives us 217. 6 times 25.5 gives us 153. 4 times 35.5 gives us 142. 0 times 45.5 is 0, and 0 times 55.5 is 0. Working out the total, so 142 add 153 add 217 add 143 gives us 655, which we're going to divide by the total number of customers, and that is 26 plus 14 plus 6 plus 4, which is 50 in total. So we'll do 655 divided by 50, which is 13.1. So comparing that to 12, it is higher. So does the price increase seem to have had an effect on the number of prints ordered per customer? We're going to say yes. And we're going to say the estimated mean is 13.1, which is higher than 12. The chart shows finishing times of marathon runners. A report states that most of the runners finished in under 4 hours. Is the report correct? Let's have a look. So 4 hours, that would be here. So between 2 and 3 hours, we've got roughly about 30,000. And between 3 and 3:30, that is roughly 70,000, and between 3:30 and 4, that is roughly 100,000. Whereas between 4 and 4:30, or 4.5 hours, that is roughly 80,000. Between 4.5 and 5 hours, that is roughly 60,000. Between 5 and 5.5, that is roughly 40,000. Between 5.5 and 6, that is roughly 20,000. 10,000 here, and probably 5,000 here. So this is the cutoff point. So for under 4 hours, we have 30 and 70 and 100. So that is 200,000. For over 4 hours, we have 80 at 60 at 40 at 20 at 10 at 5, which is 215. So we're going to say no, and we've shown why. A supermarket buyer compares large eggs from 2 suppliers. She wants to buy the largest eggs. The table shows the masses of a sample of large eggs from supplier A. A similar sample taken from supplier B gives a mean value of 66.5 grams. Which supplier should the buyer use? Explain your decision. So we'll find the midpoint between 63 and 65, which is 64. Between 65 and 67, which is 66. Between 67 and 69, which is 68. Between 69 and 71, which is 70. Between 71 and 73, which is 72. So we'll multiply these now. So 22 times 64 gives us 1,408. 27 times 66 gives us 1,782. 26 times 68 gives us 1,768. 15 times 70 gives us 1050. 10 times 72 gives us 720. So adding all of these together, gives us 6,728, which we're going to divide by the total number of eggs, which is 22 plus 27 plus 26 plus 15 plus 10, and that is 100. So we'll do 6,728 divided by 100, which gives us 67.28 grams, that is. So if we compare that to 66.5, it is higher. So eggs from supplier A weigh more. So we're going to say that the estimated mass of eggs from supplier A is higher than the estimated, the mean value, the mean mass from supplier B. A golf coach wants to tell a beginner how he is performing. He tells the beginner that he should be able to hit the ball 150 yards on average. He tests the beginner and records the distance of each hit. Is the beginner performing at the average level? Explain your answer using figures. So we'll start by finding the midpoints. The midpoint between 135 and 140 we'll work out by adding the two numbers and dividing by 2, so it gives us 137.5. The midpoint between 140 and 145 is 142.5. The midpoint between 145 and 150 is 147.5. Midpoint between 150 and 155 is 152.5. Multiplying each of these by the respective frequency. So 4 times 137.5 gives us 550. 13 times 142.5 gives us 1,852.5. 17 times 147.5 gives us 2,507.5, and 6 times 152.5 gives us 915. So adding all of these together, 550 add 1,852.5 add 2,507.5 add 915 gives us 5,825, which we're going to divide by the total for frequency. So that is 4 add 13 add 17 add 6 gives us 40. So 5,825 divided by 40. This is 145.625 yards. So comparing that to 150 yards, that is lower. So is the beginner performing at the average level? We're going to say no. We're going to say he's hitting the ball 145.625 yards on average, which is below 150 yards, or lower than 150. This table shows the number of different sized pipes that have been used at Highfield Builders in January. The pipes are grouped according to the size of their diameter. The manager thinks that the mean diameter of pipe used must be in the 45 to 49 centimeter group, as this is the group most used. Is the manager correct? Show your working out and write the answer in the box below. So we'll estimate the mean diameter and then see whether it sits within this group. So we've got 35 to 39. What is the midpoint? And we can do 35 at 39 divided by 2, which is 37. The midpoint between 40 and 44, so 40 add 44 divided by 2 gives us 42. The midpoint between 45 and 49 is 47. 50 and 54, 50 between 55 and 59, it's 57. So we'll multiply the frequencies, the respective frequencies, with these numbers. So 8 times 37 is 296. 10 times 42 is 420. 13 times 47 is 611. 3 times 52 is 156, and 1 times 57 is 57. So adding these together, $296 add 470 add 611 add 156 add 57 gives us 1,590, and we're going to divide that by the total for frequencies. So 8 add 10 add 13 add 3 add 1 gives us 35. So divided by 35 gives us 45.4. So is that in the 45 to 49 centimeter group? Yes, it is, because it's in between those two values. So we're going to say yes. You're looking at the journey times of your deliveries over 2 months. This table shows the number of journeys you made each month and their duration. Use the data to estimate the difference in the mean journey time between the two groups. Show your working out and write the answer in the box below. So we'll compare the mean journey time for April and May. So between 0 and 2, midpoint is 1. More than 2 to 4, so that's going to be 3. Between 4 and 6, that is going to be 5. Between 6 and 8, it's going to be 7. Between 8 and 10, it's going to be 9. So we're going to multiply 1 by 7, which gives us 7. 3 by 4, which gives us 12. 5 by 11, which gives us 55. 7 by 5, which gives us 35. 9 by 6, which gives us 54. Now we'll do 1 again using the same midpoints times 13, which gives us 13. 3 times 10, which gives us 30. 5 times 7, which gives us 35. 7 times 3, which gives us 21. 9 times 1, which gives us 9. So working out the total for May, going to go 7, add 12, add 55, add 35, add 54, gives us 163. And we're going to divide that by the number of journeys. So 7, add 4, add 11, add 5, add 6 is 33. So 163 divided by 33 gives us 4.94, rounded to 2 decimal places. Let's repeat this for May. So working out the total time, 13, add 30, add 35, add 21, add 9 gives us 108. And the number of journeys is 13, add 10, add 7, add 3, add 1, which is 34. So 108 divided by 34 is 3.177, or just 3.18 to 2 decimal places. So now we're going to work out the difference. So difference means taking away the smaller number from the bigger number. So 4.94 take away 3.18 is 1.76. So 1.76 hours is the difference. The bank receives lots of telephone inquiries and your manager is looking at your call statistics. The table below shows the number of calls you have answered today and the duration of each call. Estimate the mean length of the calls you receive. Round your answer to the nearest whole minute. Show your working out and write the answer in the box below. So we'll start by finding the midpoints. It says up to 10 minutes. So that is 0 to 10. Midpoint will be 5. More than 10 minutes to 20. So 10 add 20 is 30 divided by 2 gives us 15. More than 20 minutes to 30, so between 20 and 30 that's going to be 25. Between 30 and 40 is going to be 35. Between 40 and 50 is going to be 45. Between 50 and 60 is going to be 55. Multiplying these by the frequencies, So 6 times 5, that is 30. 8 times 15, that is 120. 2 times 25, that is 50. 15 times 35 is 525. 9 times 45, which is 405. 4 times 55, which is 220. So the total will be 30 at 120, at 50, at 525, at 405, at 220, which is 1350. And we're going to divide that by the total for frequency. So 6 add 8 add 2 add 15 add 9 add 4, which is 44. So 1350 divided by 44, which is 30.68 minutes. And we've got to round our answer to the nearest whole minute. So looking at the digit on the right next to 0, that is greater than 5, so this is going to be 31 minutes. This table shows the weights in kilograms of 12 people. Estimate the mean weight of the 12 people. So we'll first find the midpoints. The midpoint between 55 and 60. 55 and 60 divided by 2 gives us 57.5. The midpoint between 60 and 65 is 62.5. The midpoint between 65 and 70 is 67.5. So we'll multiply these by the respective frequencies. So 4 times 57.5 is 230. 6 times 62.5 is 375. 2 times 67.5 is 135. So adding 135 and 375 and 230 gives us 740 in total, which we're going to divide by the total for frequency. 4 and 6 is 10 and the 2 is 12. So 740 divided by 12 gives us 61.67 to 2 decimal places. And that is the answer. 61.67 kilograms. Alex is a fashion blogger. Companies pay her to promote their goods. Alex writes 30 posts promoting Company A. The table shows the number of views of each post. Alex also writes 23 posts promoting Company B. The total number of views of this post is 1,223,600. Which company receives the higher average number of views, A or B? You must show your working. Well, for company B, that's easier to work out. So we'll do 1,223,600 divided by the number of posts, which is 23. And that gives us 53,200 on average. Whereas for company A, we need to estimate the mean. So we've got number of views 0 to 30,000. The midpoint is going to be 15,000. Between 30,000 and 60,000, midpoint is going to be 45,000. Between 60,000 and 90,000, that is going to be 75,000. Between 90,000 and 120,000, that's going to be 105,000. So we'll multiply these across. So 5 times 15,000 gives us 75,000. 9 times 45,000 gives us 405,000. 12 times 75,000 gives us 900,000. And 4 times 105,000 gives us 420,000. So working out the total for all of these, 420,000 at 900,000 at 405,000 at 75,000 gives us 1,800,000, which we're going to divide by 30. And that is 60,000 on average. This is company B and this is company A. So which company receives the higher average amount of views, A or B? We're going to say A because 60,000 is greater than 53,200. So we're going to say company A. This year, 20 people completed the sponsored swim. The table shows information about the sponsor money collected. Last year, the mean amount collected per swimmer was £14.85. The charity organizer says this year's mean amount is more than £3 higher than last year's. Show your working to support this statement. So we're going to estimate the mean and compare it with £14.85 plus 3. So we'll start with a midpoint. Midpoint between 0 and 10, that is 5. Between 10 and 20 is 15. Between 20 and 30 is 25. Between 30 and 40 is 35. Between 40 and 50 is 45. So 7 times 5 gives us 35. 4 times 15 gives us 60. 6 times 25 150. 1 times 35 is 35, and 2 times 45 is 90. Adding all of these together, we get 35 at 60 at 150 at 35 at 90, which is 370, and we're going to divide that by 20. So 370 divided by 20 gives us 18.5, or £18.50 as we're talking about money. So now we need to compare that to £17.85, add £3 to that, which is £17.85, and that is higher than £17.85. So the organizer says that this year's mean amount is more than £3 higher than last year's, and we're going to say yes, that's correct. Show you working out to support the statement, and we've done that. And that's the end of the questions.